It's the Do Not Scratch Your Eyes post-match phone-in on X or Twitter or whatever it's called these days.
Well, good evening, everybody. Point apiece at Portman Road. Interesting old game. Interesting game, I would have said. I mean, at one stage, I mean, we've been talking a lot over previous weeks about how, you know, you don't see two playing up front. Two teams, both kind of playing 4-4-2-ish, I would suggest, both with two up front. Basically going at it like two drunk prize fighters, old championship fare. Did it lack a little bit of quality in terms of chances into the box or kind of shots on goal? Perhaps, but I loved every second of that. I thought it was great fun. A fantastic save. It's got to be noted that at the end the commentary partnership from hell, which included Chris Iwalumu, do we still owe him money or something? We were described as constantly direct while they were playing through the thirds, even though we'd kind of built up with the nicer of the goal, and they passed through from their centre back into their forward. But whatever. It was an enjoyable game, and I enjoyed it thoroughly. A lovely touch from Quadro Bar to open up the ball for Bolla, who we saw his opportunities to get forward and crossing in the ball on Saturday. Less so today, but different games, different characteristics, different qualities. A point I'm sure most of us would take that. I suspect. It'd be interesting to see what you all want to say. Doesn't have to be a long one. It's a school night. We know 1-1. It's finished. Their goal was something. If I'm going to be negative, I'm going to say that Semedo in the first half did not really work for me. And an example of that was where he didn't get any form of pressure on the ball for their goal, basically. And Jeremy Ngakia was right up high with Jaden Philogene. And if you haven't got pressure on the ball in front of you as a defender, the 101 rule is you drop and you defend the space in behind you, because if we haven't got pressure on the ball, they can pick a pass and put you through. Guess what he did? He did that. In addition to that, there was no covering defender or centre-back cover, which in a 4 is going to be difficult. It's especially going to be difficult if you're in and out like a Banquer is. But there we go. Do let us know your thoughts in the 5-word review. Thank you very much indeed, Darren, for letting me know that came out early. And his first 5-word review was "it hasn't finished yet," which is quite reasonable, and I understand that entirely. But if you want to come on and say something to us, whatever you want to think about, if you want to think about it tonight, it's been, what have you thought since Javi's come back? It felt again tonight like we had a good level of, commitment to trying to get the ball played, get it moving, get it working all the time. And I was pleased with that, pleased with the effort. It wasn't one of those games where we're looking at them going, what's going on? Was it flawed? Was it a bit harem-scarum? Did we get overrun in midfield a little bit? Well, for me, was it Matusiwa? Watching Matusiwa for Ipswich, I thought was a joy, as was, of course, watching a certain Mr. Loser, who got his 4th goal in as many games. So there you go. Let us know what you want to talk about, and or if you don't want to talk about it, because it's fine. You don't have to. Let's get across to Caden first of all, who's joining us hopefully live. Caden, sir, hit your mic button and let us know your thoughts for the evening.
Good evening, Pete. How are you?
Good evening, mate. I'm okay, thank you very much indeed. I sort of enjoyed that. What was your take?
Oh, it was a fantastic point, wasn't it? I thought the all-round team performance was really good. The goal, it is what it is. We got a point away from home. We haven't got a point or anything away from home for what feels like forever. So, Very, very happy with that. Now, as much as I criticise them, I thought when Sissoko and Kayembe came on today, they did quite well. Saw the game out, did what they needed to do. I thought Mama came on and played his part and was an encouraging debut from him. I think.
Yeah, I think it was. He was. And I don't quite know what I was expecting, because obviously if you saw the World Cup, you'd expect him to kind of pick up the ball, dribble 95 yards and put it around the keeper. But I thought it was a really nice, effective kind of cameo to come on. He pushed Jack Clark back a long way on many occasions, and we all saw how dangerous Jack Clark can be with swinging that ball in. He won the set pieces. He got the ball in a couple of times as well. So I think it was quite an efficient debut from him. And yeah, no, I thought fair dues to him.
100%. And Ngakia today, I am very undecided on. He played well majority of the game, but there were quite a few instances where he messed up a few times, which, yes, in theory didn't cost us, but if we were 2-1 down at that point, really fighting for the equaliser and knocking on that door, it could have been a lot worse, and they would have scored a third and got the game done. I thought their finishing today, especially from set pieces, was absolutely atrocious.
It was.
So some of these shots from the Ipswich players today, particularly Marcelino Nunes, was end, dreadful. Yeah. Our best players of the day, there's a few standouts. Firstly, Igor Selvik.
Yeah.
On the goal, he wasn't great, but that save at the end got us the point. So, yeah, very, very good from him, and a fantastic save. Imran Louza, again, and I'll say it again, he is too good for Watford. He probably won't be with us in January. I'll say that.
You could see it being the case, couldn't you? Absolutely. Yeah.
But again, people criticise me for this, but Matty Pollock was man of the match. Yet again.
Who criticises you for saying good things about Matty Pollock?
Many people.
Many people.
Surprised.
Many people. Stop having a Hayden for praising Matty Pollock. I like Matty Pollock. And the thing that I really like about Matty Pollock is that he is first and foremost a defender.
Yes.
At some of the times, and we've done this in other games as well, and I appreciate I am an old fart watching modern football. Therefore, my opinion is invalid. But, when you're talking about those moments with Jeremy and Ngakia, the amount of times we kind of play out, kind of tight little balls when it's almost too tight, and that kind of cross-field ball that he tried to play for Boller, which kind of nearly got us into problems with. I appreciate this is the modern way of playing. Basically you pretend that your goalkeeper and all of your back four are all Ronaldinho in his pomp and can basically dribble around all the players. Oh my God, it doesn't do my heart any good. It really doesn't. And the thing I love about Matty Pollock is he will turn around and either physically say or metaphorically say, fuck that ball's going a long way away. And I like that. I do like the fact that he defends. So I'm with you all the way, Caden. When some people come out and criticize you, I'm with you all the way. So carry on.
But yeah, I thought today was a very good, well-rounded performance. Portman Road is not an easy place to go, but we got the point, and we could have an unbeaten week, which would be very, very impressive, and I'd love that.
It would be. And for anybody who remembers, kind of last season or last couple of seasons, when we've gone into those 3-game weeks, the number of times that we've lost the initial game, and we've kind of been talking about, well, we're playing catch up on the rest of it. It's nice to have 4 points in the bag, a win at home, a draw away. I have to say, I do think on Friday, I mean, we talk about the schedule, playing 3 games in, I mean, effectively it's 7 days, but I'll call it 6 just because I'm old and warty. In that close proximity is going to put a strain on all of the championship clubs. Bristol were playing tonight as well, so no particular advantage, but it does seem bonkers to be doing that for a Friday night, but never mind. So in terms of what were your thoughts on Kyprianou because he's sort of divided opinion a little bit, depending on whether he's got the ball at his feet and he's playing, or if he's kind of occupying space and filling in the space. What's your opinion on Cipriano so far this season, and of course tonight?
Well, starting off with tonight, I thought he was fantastic. He is an absolute warrior. Even when he, was having the little niggle, with his injury, he still kept going. Whereas some players just give up and cry about it, but he got on with it, and that is why he is a warrior. He was fantastic today, and across the whole season, he's been fantastic. The step up from League One to the Championship isn't easy, but he's made it look very, very easy. He had one game where he weren't great, but every other game, he's been fantastic. And I think he's actually a very, very underrated player of ours. Very underrated. Same as Mark Boller. I think those two are very, very underrated compared to what they actually are.
Okay. And others catch the headlines a little easier, perhaps.
Yeah. The likes of Loser and Barr and Iran Kunda and Kieran Guard would always be in the headlines with us, but it's the players like Cipriano and Boller that are really keeping this team together and really driving forward these results with their contributions, because if we didn't have their contributions, we might not have necessarily got the points that we have got so far, because they are just been so crucial to the way that we have played this season.
I think an excellent point away. I think your choice of one of your choices for man of the match is Egil Selvik, with that save towards the end before we also saw the opportunity blasted wide, but that save from that header and then the clearance were absolutely vital to it. But I'm not trying to steer you towards something negative. Oh, who am I kidding? Of course I am. How shit was that referee tonight? I'm sorry. We talked about how bad the referee was for both sides on Saturday, because I thought he was. I don't think that Middlesbrough had anything to thank that particular ref for. But this ref tonight, he seemed to be on one. He seemed to be like a random generator of kind of pointing towards whichever way. In the first half, it was all going with Ipswich, because if you looked at the halftime statistics, apparently we had given away 7 free kicks and they had given none, despite Dumbia, and to a lesser degree, but also obviously the younger Semedo getting a fair amount of roughhouse treatment. Championship fare, I grant you, but a lot of that championship fare goes over the line and would normally be punishable, and he seemed to miss an awful lot. Was it just me being old and grumpy, or was the ref rubbish?
No, the ref was rubbish today. I think Quadro Bar is a very, very lucky boy tonight that he did not get a red card.
For that second one, where he harangued back onto Darnell Furlong, yes.
Yeah, when I saw it, I was like, yeah, he's going to be sent off for that one. That's a yellow. But he's a very, very lucky boy, is what I will say. But the referee tonight just speaks to the dire standard of refereeing in this division. And every single week, Watford especially seem to get these really crap referees that we then just cannot get rid of. Some of the referees we've had in the past that have been some of the worst referees you'll see, the likes of Jared Gillett and Sam Allison. I mean, they're both completely dreadful, but it just shows that the state of refereeing in this country as a whole, not only in the Championship but in the Premier League as well, is shocking, because no referee knows what they're talking about now. It's ridiculous, because they're meant to be the know-it-alls, but they don't know a lot, do they?
Not seemingly. Well, Mark Schofield says Barr could easily have got a red card. That was definitely a yellow for me. And Brown Electron said, yeah, Barr, very lucky. Echoing your points, Caden. Echoing your points. Lovely stuff. There goes Caden, getting us off to a flying start. Let's get Mr. Neil Silverstein on. Then I'm going to come to Ben Ayton. Then I'm coming to Dave Carpenter. But if you want to have a chat this evening, just go right ahead and hit the request button. Neil, how are you doing, sir?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks, Peter. Yourself?
Oh, yeah, I'm all right. I enjoyed that. It was knockabout stuff, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was enjoyable. And the point I was going to make, I'll come back to it now, but
Yeah.
I've got a quick question for you. So, irony for me on Caden and the point he's got. I mean, after he's just hammered the referees, which I don't disagree, but he's obviously quite vocal about it.
Oh, well, I did
welcome
prompt him into
the
it. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, no, I know, but that's what you're good at. He takes the bait too easily from you. I'd love to hear that Caden's actually applying to be a referee, because he obviously knows so much about it, so experienced. And I'd love to hear that he's refereeing Sunday League football, because I think that would be quite entertaining.
Well, when I was a coach, I went and got my referee's badge, as an awful lot of managers will do, because of the fact that often there are a dearth of referees available, because it is a thankless job. It absolutely is. But the funny thing was, when I went into the referee thing, we sat down, and it was run at Vicarage Road, and I'm going back 30 years here, everybody, and sat down, and all the referees said, "No, you won't get any coaches come on here because they don't want to understand the rules." And I was like, "Excuse me, I am one." And then about another 10 people put their hands up when, "No, we're here because we kind of have to be." So yeah, it is easy to complain, but the thing that I always try to make a point of is, when we haven't lost, if we've lost, it's always easy to come out and blame, the conspiracy the size of the Kennedy assassination, of which the referee was clearly, kind of implicitly involved, that we lost. And I've had friends who've said that. But when we've won, or when we've got a draw and a good result, and you've looked at it and gone, he did seem to have a bit of a peculiar one. I just thought he did tonight, but there we go. But you're quite right.
No. By the way, I actually agree with you. And the principle of the quality of the refereeing is questionable. I do think on that one, some of the players don't help themselves, because they throw themselves down, roll around, and then when they don't get the decision, they jump up and run off. But that's another avenue to go. Overall, like you said tonight, really solid performance, great result. Really pleased for the fans, who, I've got to say, the first 25, 30 minutes listening on the telly, that's all you could hear. So I'm really pleased for them that they're travelling back with hopefully a good feeling from a solid team performance. I don't really want to go into any sort of like non-positive areas, because it's too easy to, and it's not the right time. But a couple of bits for me. Really nice to see that Selvig is occasionally now kicking long rather than playing out from the back all the time. I think the variation really helps us.
Yep.
I think Pollock's passing, which is often maligned, a couple of times tonight, he's managed to break the lines with a little nice ball into the midfields. And I think some of his passing is underrated. And the reason is, he's got options available to him. And when he doesn't have options available to him, then that's when he looks like he's in trouble. So I think that was really positive.
Nice.
I mean, their goal, it's probably three players that you kind of, there's a compound of personal or poor decisions. So I think Semedo doesn't shut the space down in time, and Gaki's shape is wrong, and a Banquet isn't in the position to cover. I think had any one of those three been different, then possibly, the goal isn't as glaringly frustrating as it was.
Well, John Myers also asked on YouTube and said, also, could Selvig have done more to have saved their goal? It's one of those ones where he's gone across goal, and it might be, but who knows? Maybe we share it four ways. Maybe we share the conceding of the goal across the 11 and all collectively learn from it and kind of lace daisies into each other's hair and move forward. But I agree with you. I think it was a cumulative thing where we look at and go that there's something that we can learn in every single position of the pitch there to try to hopefully improve as we go.
Yeah, I mean, being follically challenged, I was with you until you got about waving daisies into hair, but that's another story.
I'm chasing you with that. The hair is falling out at an exceedingly high rate. That's fine. I'm looking forward to joining the club.
No, it's fine. But I think the other one, Mama coming on, I like the fact that he looks to deliver the ball early. I think that suits LK9.
Yep.
I think that's a combo that possibly will develop. But you could see that he is clearly making up a step from, I'd still call it youth football, into men's football. And I think there's a little bit, I mean, I'm watching my son do the same thing at the moment, and you can see that some players adapt to it far quicker than others, but it is bizarrely a very different game to play. And I think that's the same for the front two that we had to begin with. You know, you forget that they're 19 and 20.
Yeah.
And you know, and they've played against a side that is littered with quite expensive players. So I'm not surprised that they didn't look great. But again, I'm still not sure that he's a 90-minute player, although obviously if the ref got it right, he wasn't going to be anyway, but that's another story that Caden's covered.
That's true.
But all in all, I think it's really positive. The only bit that, and I'll leave you because I know it's late and there's lots of other people that want to get on.
Yep.
The biggest annoyance for me tonight,
Go on.
Jack fucking Clark. Why the hell?
I know. Are you going to use the word gloves?
No, well, part of it. Please, someone explain. Short sleeve top, gloves, November early. The fucking bloke's going to be going out in a puffer jacket come December. I just don't get it. And on that note, I'm going to let others talk, basically, because I really can't go on anymore about it.
Lovely stuff. No, I'm very pleased with that. Mark Schofield has confirmed that Loser will be here in January. He will not be allowed to leave whilst we have a chance of promotion. It's annoying when fans keep saying this player is leaving and that player is leaving, e.g. Chack and Bar. Everybody in favour of making Mark now basically the CEO, so that doesn't happen. Raise your right hand. Yep. Mark, you're in. Absolutely excellent. Good stuff. Thank you very much indeed, Neil Silverstein. Let's get across to the old friend of the show and obviously host of Voices of the Vic. Let's get across to Mr. Ben Ayton and find out how Ben is. Ben, how you doing, sir?
Yeah, very good. Thank you, Pete. How are you?
I'm all right, thank you. Are you in Suffolk?
I am indeed. Yeah,
Oh,
I don't
look
like
at this.
to do this on a Tuesday night, but I'm trying to make the most of this season, get to as many away games as possible. So this is my third one now.
Well done, sir.
Yeah, I thought overall tonight, good performance. It's a good away performance. I think if you offered a point before the game to any Watford fans out there, you would have taken a point. You win your home and you draw your away. And under Javi Gracia, we've seen a massive improvement. There's no doubt about it. That if we went there tonight under Paolo Pezzolano, we would have lost that game. Okay, we maybe rode our luck towards the end. Ipswich, they squandered a lot of good chances, a lot of clear-cut chances, but sometimes you got to ride your luck in football. And I thought it was overall a good, solid away performance, and the fans were outstanding tonight. I thought from minute 1 to 90th minute, I thought they was outstanding. Selvik, yeah, I see what some people are saying, that maybe he could have done better for the first goal.
Yeah.
But I guess when you've got Jason Philogene running down your neck like that, I think that there's only one outcome, really. Selvik, overall, after that, outstanding saves to keep us into it. I want to give a special mention to Matty Pollock as well, because I feel like a lot of people use him as a bit of a scapegoat.
Mm-hmm.
I thought, as a defender, man to man, he is outstanding and by far probably our best defender.
Agreed.
Yes, he might not be a ball-playing defender. He's better on the right. We've all discussed this before. But I want people to stop throwing him under the bus a little bit, because he's not being asked. He's not asked to play on the left side of the defence. So I just want people to just rally round him and actually give him a bit more support, because I don't agree with the stick that he's deserved lately. And we need to praise him when he puts in a performance. And I thought tonight it was absolutely outstanding. And again with Imran Loser as well, absolutely ran the show. And how often, Pete, are we going to talk about him every week, like running the show and other championship teams talking about how good he is? We need to enjoy all these performances of Imran Loser, because like we know when we get a player and he's a gem of a player, he's not going to stick around for too much longer. And I think he just oozes class. So Watford fans just enjoy him whilst we got him. And what do you think, Pete, with what's changed with Imran Loser this year? With that's obviously 4 goals in 4 now for him. He's got 6 goals for the season. Like, he's obviously playing a bit further forward. But what do you personally think he's done to his game to get to this level now?
I think he needed to recover from that Millwall challenge. He's come out and said about, he needed to take his time to get back to that right level. But for me, he's gone beyond everything that he was doing prior to that Millwall injury that he had. That had such a psychological issue for him, obviously keeping him out of the Morocco team for the World Cup, where they got through to the semi-final. Morocco have never got within a country mile of a semi-final of the World Cup, and he would have obviously been a massive part in that. So there's a large amount of kind of time heals all things, but it takes time. I think also a lot of credit has to go to Tom Cleverley last season, because for me, that was the time where we saw him stepping on and becoming a leader in the group. You know, he didn't get to play until about November, and then just, you know, really started to kick on. And he hasn't stopped that trajectory going up and being more and more vital, and, you know, carrying the captain's armband. Frankly, we talked about it when Sissoko came on the other week. I think it was I can't remember which game it was, and he came and got the armband. You can take the armband. The armband don't mean a damn thing. Loser is the captain of that side. He kind of runs everything, and he does all of the leadership. And I think for certain the arrangement as to how it now is in terms of this 4-4-2 allows us to see the best of him, because he's a true midfielder. He can go box to box. He can pass the ball. He can get forward into positions, and he's now being allowed that free reign with, and there's a few points which we'll come to where some people have said, you know, Hector Cipriano not actually been all of that, but the one thing he does when he hasn't got the ball is he lets Loser go forward, and Loser has been timing his runs into the box, finishing like he did today, and it's just adding those extra dimensions to his game. A lot of people pointing out the fact that no way will he be going, and also that with AFCON, might this be the time for him to break back into the Morocco side? You know, that might be a what's the phrase, a kind of a double-edged sword. You know, we'd lose him for January, but, you know, potentially that might stop a departure in January. Who knows? But well done for traveling, and the singing, especially as we said in the first kind of half an hour or so, was excellent. And then it started to get, you know, I thought Ipswich came at us, and I thought Matusiwa in the middle, the big lad, if you had him alongside Loser, holy hell, somebody'd be marauding through the championship, because he's a unit. He can pass the ball, he can break up the play, and he can really do stuff. But of course, he's a very expensive player. What did you make of the new look Ipswich side today?
It looks good. I think they've got a lot of championship experience in that side, and I think they plan to come back down from the Premier League last season, didn't they? They built for this season to try and build something to come back up again. You just got to look at that squad in depth when Jack Clark can't get into the starting 11, and he would probably walk into any other championship side this season.
Yeah.
It's a very strong Ipswich side, and you just notice the aggressive press that they've got, and it was the same for the season they went up. That's what Ipswich are about. They're about the fast flow in football, but also that press that George Hurst sets himself. And it's a good side. I did think when they made these changes, though, it did weaken them a little bit. Seeing Philogene go off was a massive sigh of relief, but then you see Jack Clark come on, and you're like, oh God, it's basically the identical player, just without a few added goals to the team. I did enjoy the little set two that the number 5 and Philogene had. Did you see that on the TV where they was arguing with each other?
Oh yeah, absolutely. They were not happy with one another, and Philogene, Jayden Philogene was basically being pulled away by I think it might have been Darnell Furlong or somebody else, I don't know, whoever it was, and the other one, and they were really having to be parted because they were not enjoying one another's company at that point. Absolutely, but hey ho. It is one of those. When will Voices of the Vic be doing your thoughts from inside the ground, and who will you be chatting with, and will it be Mike, and will it be breakfast time?
Hey, it won't be breakfast time this time. That was a one-off. I don't know how we managed that, but we will be probably looking to get together tomorrow night and digest tonight's 1-1 draw, a hard-earned point on the road at Portman Road. So no idea who's coming in yet. I'll have to put out a WhatsApp poll in the morning for some inside information. That's for you, everyone there. We don't have anything organised. It's basically run by a poll to see who's available. But I know Cam was there tonight, and I didn't get to see him, so I'll try my best to get him on to have someone else who was actually at the game tonight. But yeah, no, thanks for giving that plug, mate. And yeah, I'll let someone else come on now.
Lovely stuff, mate. Lovely stuff. Well, look, there is Ben, been part of a fantastic away horde today from at Portman Road, making themselves loud as we do, as we travel everywhere. The away support is always vociferous, is always getting behind the players. Shame you didn't get a win tonight, obviously, but I think as results, or rather as performances go, I think there was a lot to savour and a lot to enjoy, but there's an awful lot to unpick. And of course, it sounds like it might be Cam and Ben will be doing that with a little bit, 24 hours distance maybe from it tomorrow on Voices of the Vic. That'll be on YouTube. That'll also obviously be released as an audio pod as well. But do go and listen to it live or pick it up later on. Let's get down Cornwall way, shall we, to Mr. Dave Carpenter. Dave, how are you doing, sir?
Hello, Peter. How you doing, mate?
I'm fine, thank you. I'm going through the myriad of comments that we've got on YouTube, and thank you very much, everybody, for popping on these. We'll get onto the 5 words a little bit later, but all good stuff, and various people kind of looking at Marma coming on and thinking, yeah, okay, all right, there's some bits there. Mark Schofield's point was that his crosses, he could lift them, and he needs to lift them because they both went in on the floor. But what did you make of all things today, and maybe even your thoughts on Marma's cameo?
Well, this is the thing though, Pete. So confession time is I'm with my lad tonight, Bex. He's beside me. He's on half. So he got 2 weeks off. Sorry, I don't know why, but I think he's lying to me. But yeah, so he's here.
Hello.
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 And so we're travelling from deep Cornwall to deepest Cornwall. So we only managed to connect with half of the game online. And do you know what?
Okay.
Times are so hard, Pete. I had to use Klarna to pay the £2.50 to listen to it. It's an absolute nightmare.
Oh my Lord.
So yeah, so we only really managed to listen to one half, but I'll tell you what, it sounded bloody marvellous. And I mean, Derek Plains is a lad, and he the way he commentates is brilliant. I don't know your thoughts on that. It's fantastic.
I agree. I love him. I'd much rather have a character and somebody who puts across the passion. And he's, let's face it, he's like all of these co-commentators. There's a bias, not bloody much, and quite right. He's all for us. I like that very much.
He said something quite funny. He said, "Oh, it's a team of two. They're two balanced teams with Ipswich dominating." And I thought, well, how does that work? But yeah, so I was trying to work that out. But and also, who's Kieran Go? There's Kieran Go, and there's I don't know who that is.
Now, Dave, you Dave is just the best, basically. So I'm now going to do something that has never been done before in the history of Spaces, because once somebody did say to us, well, you do a podcast because you want to inform and educate, and I turned around and I went, what, have you heard us? Really? Right. However, today, everybody, we're going to educate and inform you. And it's all down to Anders Helgeson, who I like very much. Obviously, the surname is a very good start. I think we can all agree. Now,
absolutely.
Anders' comment to us today was, Peter, how to pronounce K9 is Kiemgor. And he says, and I like these references, like the guy in Depeche Mode, Martin Gore, so it's Kiemgor, like that. And he says it's not 100%, but that would get you pretty close. He says Danish is tricky. They sound like very, very drunk Norwegians. I'm Swedish. Come on, you horns. The best. I'm sorry. I mean, we've never been educational before, but for once we've tried it, we've managed it, and only thanks to our good friend of Anders in Scandinavia. I like that. Knocking the countries next door, correcting our grammar. What more could you want? Kiemgor, there you go.
Sounds like they've been drinking too much Skol to me. But I think that's fine. Well, I'll just stick with K9 then, because I can't even remember what you said. That's Kieran Gore. Right, okay. So look, at least we're learning. That's fine. Well, look, and also as well, I felt a little bit embarrassed the other day with the me saying I don't rate him, and then obviously pops up and gets 2 nice goals as well. So I've missed the Coventry game, I've missed the Middlesbrough game. We've only managed to get half of this game online, which is a nightmare. It's not the same, is it, listening to it audio? It's not the same at all. And the new lad that made his cameo, I'll be honest with you, I didn't even know who he was. Is that bad? Does that make me a non-supporter? I'm really sorry. I'm so sorry.
No, it doesn't. All it means is, once again, we failed in our task of apparently educating and informing. Yes,
yeah.
It's all
so I blame the podcast. This is why we're not winning awards.
It's reasonable.
Sorry.
Yeah, well, I mean, let's face it, Watford have had award-winning podcasts for far too long. We're trying to bring balance to the force by being generally rubbish.
I love it. I think it's the best podcast I've ever listened to.
Oh my
there we go.
God.
I know.
Now, hold on. Mr. Carpenter Jr. there. What's your name there?
Backcliff.
Right now. So, does your dad only listen to one podcast?
Yeah.
Yeah, that explains a lot. I think that
He's
probably.
very loyal.
That's
I'm
exactly
waving
what
a
we want.
fiver in front of him. I don't know if he's
This is a good answer. I like it. That's the kind of listener we like to have. Loyal and easily pleased. That'll do us. Well, look, enjoy. Have you concluded your journey into darker Cornwall?
What we're doing. We've parked in a lay-by because he kept saying, quick, it says listener, it says speaker, quick, go. And I'm like, I'll pull over before we lose signal.
Well, we're gonna let you carry on in your journey into darker Cornwall, which we didn't even know, but we're gonna have a map. But we'll get it up on social media tomorrow, so that everybody can see exactly where Dave is calling to us from. It's just outside of Mordor in Cornwall, it would appear, which is excellent. Guys, enjoy the rest of the journey, drive safe, and we will catch you next time. And don't forget, Othman Mama, Moroccan under-20 World Cup winner, most valuable player. All of this education and information, it's very, very good indeed. I think we're having a good day on that front. We've never done it before. Let's get to Wendover, and then we're going to get into the 5 words for everybody so that you can all, hit the hay and get ready and everything. Now, Greg, you have been Suffolk bound, I believe.
Yeah, we're just crawling our way out of Ipswich.
Now, two questions. Are you with Colin?
No.
Right. Okay. This is
Colin's playing darts.
He's playing darts. Is he a player?
He's a
very
good darts player.
Okay.
He's a very good dart player.
Okay.
Yeah,
Question number 2. Are you driving anywhere near Bristol for a steak?
Nowhere near Bristol for a steak.
Far more direct this time. Okay, fair enough. Enough of that. Let's talk about the game tonight. Rip-roaring championship stuff. 2 teams playing 2 up front, both trying to batter the hell out of each other.
Loved it. Great.
Go on, far away.
Loved it. Great game of football. Entertaining game of football. That's why we go to football, to be entertained. We're coming away tonight with a point from who I think are a very good team, and a team that will be up there challenging with players like Philogene, Clark. Philogene was 20 million quid, so he's gonna be a good footballer, and he is a good footballer. However, I thought that was a great, with a capital T, team performance. We are now a team. We are not 11 individuals, as I said on Saturday.
Yep.
We are a team. I agree with Ben Aiton. Pollock, magnificent, absolutely magnificent tonight. Put his body on the line. And I apologised a few weeks ago for calling him a cart horse when they were asking him to play a bit. They've changed, they're not asking him to overplay now. And I thought he put in an absolutely sterling performance. I thought Dumbia was also outstanding. I think of the 3, actually, I think he's probably going to go the furthest of those 3 centre forwards we've got. I think Dumbia could go all the way. I think he's a really, really good football player. I think we switched off for their goal, but it was the only one time really we did switch off tonight. I thought brilliant. You win your home games, Pete. You get something away from home, you're going to be up and thereabouts in the playoffs.
Yeah, well,
if not in the top 2. Well done, Javi Gracia. He, as I said on Saturday, some people just fit at certain football clubs, and he fits at Watford Football Club. Welcome back, Javi.
Nice. I like that a lot. I'm going to go through the YouTube comments in a minute, but I have to respond to John, a certain John Parslow of Rickmansworth and Chorleywood, and he said, "Did Greg just say he is curb crawling his way out of Ipswich?" Now, I think you said crawling your way out of Ipswich. I said
crawling.
Yeah,
and JP knows damn well he's just trying to be funny. and tell JP he is failing miserably.
He is, and John, you're getting mixed up with David Pleat. Never mind.
Can I tell you a story about David? No, I better not.
No, because we got into trouble once when the dog did a video using Smurfette and a car, and Smurfette was a lady of ill repute, and the car drove away, and some people didn't find it funny. We found it hysterical. What can you say? Look,
a pal of mine used to service his car, and the
blimey.
balancing of the wheels always needed doing.
with the near side, like, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
They were all battered, were they?
Honestly, that is a true story.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. There may be a reason why no ladies will actually call us, because this is the kind of thing we end up talking about. I apologise, everybody, and for anybody who's ever had their hubcaps, dirtied in the Luton or indeed Greater London area. Greg, let's look to at the end of this week, and the last game prior to the international break. Bristol City, they've had a game tonight as well. All the squads are going to be sort of weary, aren't they? What do you think we can expect to see? Because obviously he kind of mixed it up a little bit today, but you know, a lot of those players also played, you know, kind of 90 minutes. I'm thinking obviously loser Kyprian, who didn't quite make it to the 90-minute mark, but was close by. Pollock obviously had a lot of has had a lot of game time. Boller as well. Do we think more shuffling about to kind of bring in fresh legs, or do you just go with consistency? Do what Coventry were doing at the start of the season.
As we've played on a Tuesday and not on a Wednesday, hopefully that gives enough time. I think the fact that it was a Tuesday was why he might have rested Kirangard tonight.
Yeah.
He did a lot of running on Saturday. He did a lot of running. I thought he was better than Semedo when he came on. I think Semedo's. I'm not here to knock any players tonight, but I think Semedo's got a lot to learn. Still a lot to learn. And of the three, I think it's at the moment Doumbia, Kirangard. I think Semedo's number 3 at the moment. Look, we got strength up. Yeah, we got strength up there, and that was a good team performance tonight. To get something at Ipswich, you know, not a lot of teams are going to get much at Ipswich this season. We were decent. Good. Decent.
Good. The scores from the Championship tonight, because you said about how did they do. So I've just gone and found it. So Birmingham City 4, Millwall 0, Bristol City 0, Blackburn Rovers 1. So they'll be licking their wounds after that and be wanting to try and get something at Vicarage Road again, obviously. Of course, every team wants to. Charlton Athletic 1, West Bromwich Albion 0. Let's not talk about the manager there, Derby County 2, Hull City 1. Obviously, we know Watford and Ipswich drew 1-1, as did Leicester City and Middlesbrough. Oxford United 0, Stoke City 3. Mark Robbins really doing some decent work down there with the Potters. And despite being 1-0 down, I think it was at half-time, Coventry came back and beat Sheffield United 3-1 to get themselves back on track. So there you go.
I think Mason's going to be under pressure at West Brom. Yeah.
Well,
I guess Norwich play tomorrow night, do they?
I presume so. Hold on, let's have a look tomorrow. Championship. Preston North End play Swansea City. QPR play Southampton. Obviously, no longer with Will Still. Sheffield Wednesday play Norwich City. Crikey. There's going to be a battle there. Portsmouth take on Wrexham, which, needless to say, it's Wrexham, so it's kicking off at 8 o'clock. Televised, anybody? What do you think? I imagine so. Never mind. Well, so
one thing tonight I couldn't help thinking, Pete.
Yeah.
As Hector was tiring.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it have been good if Little Mendy was on the bench to come on and snap away in the midfield? Well, I think that was a game tonight that Little Mendy could have had an impact on.
Or maybe we'll see
where he is.
Maybe we'll see one of the Mendy's, or maybe both of them, come out on Friday and give us some sort of fresh legs. I don't know, but they have been distinctly absent. Everything that Adam Drury has said is that anybody who's been in the squad has been at the choice and the selection of Javi Gracia. I have not heard anything one way or t'other about that, so I've heard nothing to contradict that, other than the fact that obviously at the start when he came in, he would have obviously been getting told who his best players were, and since then we've seen Sissoko kind of been finally worked his way down to very, very small cameos of finishing it out at the end, which I think most Watford, or a lot of Watford fans, are going to be going, that's really what you want from your 36-year-old whose legs went a couple of seasons ago. It makes sense. But I'm hoping that what we're seeing now, and seeming what we're seeing now, is what a lot of people have said. We're starting to see an identity from some, from them, and hoping that he can get his way. If we can get a point on Friday, a 5-point week is not bad, but if we can just keep that run going at Vicarage Road and take 7 points into the international break, and it be an international break where we're not throwing everything up in the air and changing everything all again.
Exactly.
That would be nice to see. That would be nice to see.
And also playing on Friday night, Pete,
Mhm.
we get a chance to get our 3 points in early, go up the league, and put some pressure on people. So
Nice.
all good.
Nice point
Yeah,
indeed.
no, everything's great. Everything's great, but apparently the main roads out, the main motorway out of Ipswich is closed tonight. So it's going to be a bit of cross country, I think.
Okay, well, we'll have the best of luck with your cross countrying ability. There goes Wendover, leaving all of the curbs of Suffolk perfectly well intact. That's just John Parslow starting things off in a nasty and ridiculous way, but I enjoyed it anyway. Let's just quickly whiz through some of the YouTube comments, the 5-word reviews, and the quick long forms, and then you can all hopefully kind of all be in bed by 11. Let's hope. Well, not all be in bed by 11. I mean, you might know some people and want to be in bed. You know what I mean. Anyway, Jay said absolutely no way will Loser be going in January. This gets quite heated, and I quite like it. This is very good. The lead up to Loser's goal was beautiful, says John Myers. Nathan Harrison says, take it and run on to Friday. Now, Brown Electrons says, great point away from home. Now, Brown Electrons makes some very, very good little almost chats here with Mark Schofield, and I like it very much indeed. Christian Freighter says, I'll take that point all day long. Quite right. John Myers is back. He said also, could Selvig have done better or done more to save their goal? We discussed that. I like the idea of, if you're going to concede a goal, and I'm not sitting there saying, oh, brilliant, there were 4 points of failure, but in a way, you're not just pointing at one person. We didn't have pressure on the ball. And Ngakia was way too high, and then basically sort of didn't get the run. He also was not goal side of it. There's something for him to be coached between now and Friday even, and I think for the balance from a Banquer, maybe to get around and maybe recover, or perhaps the shape. It could be talking about the shape and then maybe the goalkeeper as well. But everybody concedes when they're playing. Not just the one person. Evening all, says Milchman. Evening, Milchman. Melanie says Bar's layoff for the goal was sublime. It was a lovely little kind of reverse ball, beautifully called out, and it even made Chris Iwelumo, who seems to, who as I say, I think has basically had a check bounced or something. If like tonight was anything to go by, because he was kind of purring over everything Ipswich did. Brown Electrons back says, think Selvig had a good game. But look, there are. It's good that there are different opinions. Bar could easily have got a red, says Mark Schofield. That was definitely a second yellow, for me. And again, Brown Electrons comes back and says, "Yeah, we were lucky." Lovely point here from Mark Schofield. We have a great work ethic. Where we looked previously like we were running through treacle in some previous weeks and in some previous games. Now it's looking a little bit more hardworking. Is there room for improvement? God, you've got to hope so. This isn't the ceiling. You've got to make sure that this is a platform to build on. Yavi has given us purpose and cohesion. Mark says back, great work ethic, and we now have an identity in the way we play. This is all very, very nice and positive. And again, I go back to the Coventry game. Oh, we lost the Coventry game. Everybody on here kind of came and focused on the performance, which was odd to lose a game 3-1 and be 3-0 down and down to 10 men at half time. And everybody came on and went, other than shooting and defending, that's an improvement, and it has carried on, and that's really nice to see. Proud of the Golden Boys. What a battle, says Toby Lancaster. Sean WFC says, another day we don't get a point with the amount of missed chances they had, especially those two at the end. Great save from Selvik. The one right at the end, I can't remember who it was, came onto it and skied it. But I think it's basically just going past Norwich at the moment. Brown Electron says, only criticism on Yavi was I thought he could brought on Iran Kunda a little too late. This was a game that was perfect for him. Came on, and it was the amazing times when the ball was being played over. Ipswich player was running back, and he just went meow, and was chasing him. Nearly kept it in at one stage and broke away. Charles says, no chance we will lose. We will sell Loser in January. He will leave in the summer. There you go. Charles has told you and told you where to put it. I like that. Sean's back again. He says, can't help but think Elaine is unlucky not to be in the team. Needs someone like him who can find a pass when there are only two defenders ahead of him. I have every sympathy for one, Elaine, and secondly for Sean's comment there, because I do agree. And I think, yes, Pollock's passing out has been better. I thought Abanqua didn't quite look as reassured as we might like to have seen tonight. Mark says Loser will be here in January. He will not be allowed to leave whilst we have a chance of promotion. It's annoying when fans keep saying this, but now Mark is now the CEO of Watford. We've all voted, and it's all reasonable. Carl W13, hello Carl Wilson, says very happy with 1-1. Beat Bristol City, then it will be a great week. Pollock, outstanding defence, and passing not so good. No, well, you know, that's not what he does. Isn't it AFCON away in January, says Nick G. Surely Loser will be away with Morocco. Well, Morocco they've got a real amount of depth in their squad already. Mark Schofield, Kip has not been fantastic all season and has had more than one poor game. I think on the ball, he's had some torrids, to be quite frank. But I think without the ball, I think he fills that gap really, really well and really intelligent, just for me. But I don't disagree with you on the ball, especially. He needs to make a jump. Feel for Kips, because Alex Ayer says he's nowhere near the level, unfortunately. Would rather KMB play. Cool, that's fighting talk, and I'm all for it. I like that. These are opinions. Don't have to change yours because of it. Loser, says Carl Wilson, is going nowhere in January unless we get a silly offer. He is fully behind what is happening at Watford, and I think he has been a promise, a move in the summer. He says, well, excuse me. There was an offer put in last January for Loser. He didn't want to go. He wanted to stay, and I don't think we were pulling up any trees last January. And kind of, he wanted to stay. He does enjoy, to my understanding, he enjoys being at Watford. I think he's really, really enjoying his football at the moment. And I don't know. I just can't see. I could see the club maybe going, well, rather than losing you for nothing in, whenever, we need to work out a time when we do that. Or if we get up, here's an extended contract and an improved contract, that would make sense. But what a player. What a player. I mean, it's lovely to have a player for whom that is actually valid talk. I mean, I just think he's been outstanding. This first caller is talking crap, says Mark Schofield. Loser ain't leaving. You made that clear. And Kip ain't been fantastic all season, neither is Boller. He was piss poor in one game. Mark holds a heavy bar, but that's a good news. That's good news for us, because Mark is now the CEO. We may need to pull some strings to make it official, but hey, why can't we? Pete, like the fleece you wear. Is it weird fit? Yes. It's a weird fish one. My mother bought it for me. And then I went, oh, that's nice. Thanks very much. So she went and bought me another 4. So every time you'll see me, I'll always be in one of these until they wear out, or until, whatever. Anyway, HJ2025 says, an excellent point, I think. Really worked hard, like Mama when he came on. Awful ref. Absolutely. Very happy with a point against a very good Ipswich with lots of quality. Carl's back again. Doesn't for long look like Andre Gray. Just saying. Okay, didn't get that one. I think Selvik says stays on his line too much. There was with the one that inevitably went wide. I'd like him to come through and command his box a bit more. We were chatting with David. It'll be out tomorrow, the Bristol City preview, and he was talking about a lad called Videk, who is their goalkeeper, who has been really commanding. He's 6'5" and he commands his box, and he takes balls from wide. I think if you're going to throw something at Selvik, that would be one. I think he had a dip. I think he had a colossal dip. but he's been improving in the last two or three games. And I think you've got to allow that some players will have dips in form, and even goalkeepers will do. I feel sorry for Nathan Baxter, because when he came in, I didn't think he'd done anything wrong. I thought he did really good stuff. Mark Schofield back. Mama was promising, but both his crosses were too low, straight to the keeper or opposition. He needs to lift the ball. No, absolutely. Got to play a 4-3-3 away from home, says Lee J, and 4-4-2 at home. Mendy in midfield. This is echoing of what Greg said, with Loser and Cipriano. Yeah, it is an odd one, because he did come in and have that particularly effective game, I thought, with them as a 3. And it's been odd that we haven't seen him at all. Even stranger that Duomo today played with the under-21s, and therefore, and a lot of people have made the comment about, obviously, our friends Sissoko and KMB playing. I haven't got a problem so much with KMB, but Sissoko, holy hell. The jury's still out on Semedo, I'm afraid, says Mark Schofield. However, he is very young and raw, and so will improve. We absolutely hope so. And I thought we saw an improvement from him when he had that 3-game run, in fairness, under Pezzolano. But I do think he is the weaker of the 3. I absolutely agree. Brown Electron says, one criticism on Loser was I thought his deliveries from corner were a little below par. Cool, that's fighting talk, isn't it, about Loser? Using the words were a little below par. That's the politest criticism we've ever had. I thought Ngakia had a good game, says John Parslow, against one of the best players in the division, he says. Well, he wasn't just up against one, because they then brought on another one as well, which was quite good. Morocco have midfield just playing at big clubs. Loser isn't guaranteed to make the AFCON squad, says Sean, exactly echoing what I tried to say, but saying it so much better. Not even sure that Ngakia was that much to blame for the goal, says John, as needed protection in front of him and behind, and a Banquet in the second half cleared something similar up, but was nowhere for the goal. I think there was a lot of culpability. There was enough to go around for somebody to come in and do a coaching session where you go through and you repeat the very, very basics, which is, first of all, have we got pressure on the ball? No. If not, why not? You get pressure on the ball. That then helps everybody squeeze if they need to and stay tight. If we haven't got pressure on the ball, then you've got to defend the space in behind you, because look what happened. Jayden turned and sped away, and he left. We all know that, and I think Ngakia has had a splendid season as far as I'm concerned. He's been really, really good. However, if there's one thing that he's not particularly great at, it's tracking back at speed. I have to say, he looks like he's running through treacle when he's running back, and there was no way he was going to get back anyway. And then the covering, and of course we talked about Selvik. So look, I think there's something there to go and work on. A good point gain, says Ski Boy. Hello there. Thanks for all the news and updates. No, absolutely. No. This is our new informative and educational. Who are we kidding? It'll just be a procession of knob gags per normal next week. Don't worry. Pollock, Selvik, Boller, and Imran, tremendous tonight. And shout out to Mama, who did okay in a tricky away game. One of the things that was very, very pleasing, I don't know if anybody picked it up, but over the last couple of opposition views, Carl has basically invented a hybrid player for us all called Imran Kunda. So there's a cross between Imran Loser and Iran Kunda. Imran Kunda, what a player he would be. I like that very much. SC1788 says Kiramgo, let me get it right, must start now. Did more than Semedo did in far less time. I agree. If you're looking at just starting 11s, I think we're just kind of managing loads of effort between the squad for the 6 games, for the 6 days and the 3 games. Peter in January, would you bring in another holding midfielder? No, I just bring Mendy back into the squad occasionally. I think we're going to get knocks, we're going to get injuries. We know obviously Vata is now out for a period. I've heard contradicting stories as to what it is, but either way, it's going to be a period of time, and he's going to have to do really what Loser did, which is just make sure that when he comes back, he is absolutely up and running. That's the most important thing. Boyd May of Hello Boyd says, where are the Mendy boys? Surely better than Ince and Sissoko. I've got a lot of time for Ince actually at the moment, but I don't disagree with your comment. Josh Lewis says Loser and Mama linked up incredibly. There's a really good sarcastic point coming from Mark Schofield in a minute. Cole also, Peter, would you bring in another whole? A question so good he asked it twice. Duomo is surely worth a spot on the bench over Sissoko and Morris. And I thought it was odd that he was in the under-21s today, but you always look at a player's development and say, right, what's going to be better for them? Is it maybe being on the bench in Ipswich, getting cold, maybe getting 5 minutes, or maybe getting nothing at all? or getting a solid 90 minutes in the under 21. So they'll make a call on the players' development, for want of a better phrase, and what he needs to make sure that when he is on the bench, he's in the best position. And I'm hoping that's the case. But it's really odd that he's getting that, and the Mendy guys, we're just not seeing anything. The Mendy boy is playing a totally different position to Ince and Sissoko, says Mark Schofield. Joan and Betty says, pleased with that result. Tricky to get the balance right today. So good result. Feel for Vata, hopefully back before the end of the season. Love my club, have done for 50 years. Hey, we all love our club. We can all also, on occasions, absolutely hate it to pieces. The two are not mutually exclusive. Mark Schofield back again. He says, Josh, how often did loser pass to Mama or vice versa? Was it once or twice? I love it. They did. They kind of, and every time they did it, they were doing like little high fives and what have you between them. I think that looks a lot of fun. I think that looks a lot of fun going forward. Did Greg just say he was curb crawling? No, he did not. We are now a team. Agree wholeheartedly. And Rob Sterry says, hello, Rob, said, currently in Las Vegas. Oh, you win. But caught the second half. Ipswich look a decent team, so we'll take a point away from home. We'll win away soon. Or we hope so. Thought K9 did well, said Brown Electrons. The ball seemed to stick with him tonight when he came on. Big Nelly says, Duomo scoring goals for fun in the under-21s. How we don't get him on the bench instead of Sissoko is completely baffling. Well, hopefully that will be good for his one, for his confidence, secondly for his playing style, and secondly for his notoriety, so that when he gets those chances, he's in a good place to take it. Colin Smith says, after the first 2 goals, I didn't see how it could end 1-1. However, AFC postbox are delighted. Oh God, it's the prediction league. Where Colin is Colin and his friend Lisa, who are I always say it wrong, post office workers or whatever you wish to have, postman, whatever you like, and basically they're predicting scores by opening up little letter boxes on a certain estate and seeing and counting out the numbers of letters. So far, bearing in mind Carl and Justin are also just predicting what they think the score is going to be. They're bottom of the league. The postal services of Margate are top. That tells you everything you need to know, and about why we will no longer be informative or indeed educational ever again. Dave Savage says, it's just a good feeling at the moment. Yavi has brought a sense of hope back, like it. Mark Schofield says, of course, Semedo is third choice. State the bleeding obvious, mate. Sorry, Mark, I do apologise. Yavi has clearly brought a lot of unity, and you can see an organised team that has fight in them. Lovely stuff. Very worried about Cipriano Ingi, says John. He's been a key pillar in the way we are playing and unlocking loser. I think that's probably been the best part of Cipriano. Yes, he's defending, but where his positional play is, what it's allowing, Imran to go and do is absolutely key. It's 2:35 p.m. here in Vegas, says Rob. Well, look, Rob, I hope you're there. What's the phrase? For leisure and pleasure. And have a good time. Is Kip injured? He played on when substituted and has played on Saturday as well. I hope not, but he's got. I see with Kip that somebody who's got a little bit of street smarts and will go down and try and stop it and try and stop the game. Dromo scored 2 for the youth team today, under 21s really. Should see him in, or little Mendy if Kipps has got a knock. Lovely stuff. Well, let me get across to. Bear with me 2 seconds. There we go. Look at this. Let me get all of this sort of stuff right. So what we're going to do is quickly nab into the 5-word reviews, which are on Twitter, and then we will look to call it a night. Look, there's me below me. If you're looking at this, if you're not, I can't blame you. 5-word reviews. Oh, look at this. This is going, honestly, the technology, everybody who's just listening to this visually, well, apart from the fact that I'm there, it doesn't look too bad. So there we go. Let's have a look. Dave Lavender says, the ref was wank, but a great point on the road. Bankor and Pollock again, both rocks at the back. Smitty says, happy with an away point. Ryan Cripps says, well-earned point tonight. Mama looked sharp on his debut. Selvig, my man of the match. Very crucial save to keep us in it. Must beat Bristol City Friday. Then it's a good week. Come on, you Orns. Harry says, impressed with Ipswich Egeli delivery. He was the guy on the right, was basically inverted winger. And in the first 10 minutes, I mean, he was delivering crosses in that looked awful. They looked horrendous to try to defend against. Really, really working hard for us. And yeah, really did look like a player who could push on. And I know they've got very high hopes for him. Vic Bates says, grit, that's rarely shown away. It's a very good point. Different qualities, as I said at the start of this, different qualities. There was grit, there was determination, there was work rate, and it was just two teams battering at each other. I like that. Cipriano, centre back playing in midfield, says Peter Elson. Gaz says, take the point and run. Bring back the 80s, says, fabulous result. Real evidential progress, like that. I like that, even though it was Brian's. Brian, come on, get back to the nom de plumes. Get me to say naughty words inadvertently, and then go, oh bloody hell, Brian. Ref was a complete thundercunt, says Ben. Good use of the phrase. I like that. Hampshire Hornet. Win your home games, draw your away games, he says. Bring back the 80s is back and says, Justin set the timer early. No, that was me. I'm doing that because Justin's eye recovery is still ongoing. Willie Ecker's like, I will take a point, he says. Brian's back. Loser really is some player. Alan WFC says, solid disciplined team, away performance. Iwalumu, shit player, shit pundit, said WFC chef. Thank you very much indeed for that. John Parslow, perfect. Pollock protects promising point. M, take the point and run. Hold on, I just need a drink. And everybody should congratulate M, because she had some really good news earlier on, which is great. So M, really pleased to hear that good news, and long may that continue. Coopsy says, bar on left, not effective. I wonder whether or not we'll see bar on the left with inverted wingers who will then tend to push inwards and kind of cluster the midfield if you're playing 4, and therefore you want to kind of get more bodies in, and whether or not we'll see bar switch to the right where he played on at home, maybe, where we want to be more expansive. No idea. Might happen. Who knows? Big Galoot says physically committed. Then Sissoko arrived. Selvic's great save earns points. Ryan says draw, away win, home promotion. Robert Bliss, Philogene is not my lover. Very good. Robert, hold on. We need one of those for Robert. Look at that. Lee Starr says, good point on the road. Absolutely. A well-deserved away point, says Steve Pine. Darren Selwood said, not actually finished just yet, but he gets a special prize for being the first most sarcastic person. Well done. Like that. As you know, we like a bit of sarcasm here at DNSWE. Kieran Gard, Kayembo, who's Carundo and Carumbo? Thank you, TJ2626. Vince Smith said, road luck, but deserved point. I think so. Andrew Argent says, Semedo and Ince were shit. Thomas says, will we ever win away? I don't know. Probably not. It's us. Who knows? Let's get on to the long forms, and all you lovely people can get to bed and dream of points on Friday. WFC Chef says, done well to get 7 points out of that run. Felt like a lower league team away in the cup in those last 30 minutes, but their squad is like a championship hall of fame. That's a nice one. I like that. Sorry, I half expected them to bring a Delta Wrapped and David Nugent on. Oh, I can't deny it. I like that very much. Yeah, sorry, Louis Tajiri, you're gonna have to go and look up David Nugent. Peter Elson, Cipriano is a centre back playing in midfield. We need more quality from him on the ball. Is Duomo that player? Asked Peter Elson. Maybe. I must confess, I wasn't particularly impressed when he first came to the club. Maybe because I saw him lose 8-2 in a shocking game at Sheffield United the day after we'd lost 1-0 at Sheffield United. The reserves played. And it wasn't great at all, but nobody was that day. I think he's had a couple of games which make you think and hope that maybe is going to be, kind of where he can get to. He had the opportunity to have conversations to leave in the summer, and he wants to do it. He's just got to get given the chance. Absolutely. Rode all up, but that was to be expected. Of all the teams that come down, Ipswich seemed the best place to go back up and showed it. We performed very well, and a homer of a referee to battle. Yeah, absolutely. As Pete often says, no one will remember the performance in May. It's the point gained. Absolutely. Pete Hopwood says there's something kind of pleasingly entertaining when you see the other team start to fight between themselves. Yes, we like that. Watford Limerick says, the wise men of football, they say, if you win at home and draw away, you'll end up in the top 6 and you'll stay in the mix. And that's just what happened today. I like that. I like that very much. Tough game, says the Duck. I like the Duck. This is good. 1881. A tough game that I thought Ipswich edged it. Probably, I think if it was a boxing match, they'd have got it on points. But even at the end, the rather begrudging Chris Iwalumu said, no, no team deserved to lose or win that. But we looked in it right to the end, and Gakia is having a great season. Lou's are superb as usual. One of the best midfielders I've ever seen play for Watford. He's absolutely getting into that kind of territory. Absolutely he is. Charlie says, I feel there's a forced hate against Jezza. I think he's always worked hard and genuinely looked great, good to be frank. And I'm seeing Pollock shouldn't start. He's a solid shithouse centre back, and believe he's better than Kevin personally. And IK. The pace is affected, and think Kip recovers for that. Okay, right. Well, no, that's I like all of that. No, we've said with Jeremy and Gakia that, as I say, I don't think he recovers back to his own goal very fast. I think that's something that can be absolutely thrown at him. But in fairness, he's a dogged defender. I like to think of him as the Lloyd Doyley of the squad, because so many managers have come in and he keeps forcing his way back into that right back spot, no matter who comes in, and just kind of keeps being doggedly effective. But this season, with the added game time, especially, we've seen, kind of, the cross in for the second goal on Saturday was a great ball in. It really was. And of course, we know he got a couple the other week as well. So, all good, nothing bad at all. Jake says, brilliant point. We did get lucky in the end. Mama looked shaky when coming on, but I'm sure he'll grow in more confidence on to Friday, he says. And Thomas is back. He says, anyone know where the Mendies are? Yeah, basically you go to the Cotswolds and you carry on driving past Worcester. Then you'll get to the Mendies. Oh, that might be the Mendips. I don't know. Anyway, never mind. So there we go. End of the game. 1-1. Point for us, really good. And I think anybody will look at in the Championship going to Portman Road, coming away with a point or a win would be tremendous. Did we deserve to win? No. Did we deserve to get the draw? Yeah, I would say so. Did we ride our luck on a couple of occasions? Could it have gone the other way? Yes, because it's football and it's a game of fine margin. So look, there we go. We'll move to looking at Bristol. Taking them on board on Friday. If you are inclined to get a ticket, do see if you can get it in the Rookery end, because the 1881 are looking to do a kind of a mosaic display, and therefore we'll want to have as many people in there as possible. And it'll be poppy, kind of a poppy commemoration. Anybody who was at the game the other year when we played Millwall, so this would have been 2014 the other year, and it was fantastic to see. The 1881 are trying to get back to doing these sort of things, and we've all got to chip in and see if we can help. So if you're going to get a ticket, try and get in the Rookery if you can. Tomorrow will come out the excuse me. Let's try English as a first language, shall we, Pete? That'd be nice. Tomorrow we'll have the opposition view with our great friend David from Forever Bristol City. We're going to be chatting through their season. Obviously, before that, all of the normal stuff. There's a host with the most, which is good fun, and everything else. So look, enjoy your evening. Look forward to the end of the week, because there's a sting in the tail, hopefully, for the Hornets. If we can make sure we can do something to make 7 points out of this week, would be tremendous. Whatever it is, we've won our game at home. We've drawn our game away. It's over for us in that game at home again to take the initiative and see what we can do. So there we go. Thank you as ever for sticking with us through all of this nonsense. We will never be educational or informative again, I assure you.